Hi everyone. Welcome to Turkish series stars. All the details are in our video, so stay with us until the end, and if you enjoy our storytelling, remember to subscribe and share. Thank you for being here. What set social media ablaze today was not a dazzling premiere or an awards night kiss, but a wave of tense whispers around Elçin Sangu. Reports across entertainment circles claimed that a court had issued a brief custodial ruling tied to a long-running dispute, a development that stunned fans who have always associated her name with elegance, talent, and a calm kind of strength. The talk swelled by the hour, yet Elçin chose silence, and that silence only deepened the mystery. Her legal team, according to those close to them, prepared to challenge the decision and insisted that the process was ongoing through the proper channels. While the exact contours of the case remained murky and the details unverified, the conversation became impossible to ignore. But the story didn't stop at the courtroom door. What truly shifted the mood online was the response of the man whose name has been intertwined with hers in the public imagination since the days of Karalık Aşk, Barış Arduç. Those who claimed to know his inner circle said he offered words that traveled faster than any headline, a simple vow of loyalty that fans turned into a chorus. He allegedly told friends, "I won't leave Elçin alone. I'll get her through this, and I'll be by her side for as long as it takes." It was the kind of promise that reminded people why their pairing became a touchstone for a generation of viewers, not only because of what they created on screen, but because of the quiet understanding they appeared to carry off it. There was a time, not so long ago, when every glance between them on set became a reaction gif, when viewers debated whether their on-screen chemistry was the rare magic that never fades. After the series ended, they kept their friendship intact, supporting each other's projects from a respectful distance, never performing closeness for cameras, but never hiding it either. To see his name rise in the same breath as her difficult moment felt, to many, like the return of a steady hand. Under every trending post came the same replies, "Now that's real friendship. That's loyalty. That is what support looks like when the lights are harshest." Speculation erupted just as quickly as the sympathy. Some followers wondered if fate, or perhaps the solidarity of a shaken industry, might pull them together in front of the cameras again. Would a new project reunite them? Was this the spark that producers needed to finally make the calls they'd been deferring for years? No one could say for sure. There were only the currents of rumor, and the knowledge that timing is everything in this business. Yet for many, even the idea of seeing them share a frame again was enough to make the day feel a little less heavy. Meanwhile, uncertainty hung over the legal process. Would the sentence be postponed? Was it a suspended ruling? Could it be resolved swiftly through an appeal? Those who stood near the situation urged patience, reminding everyone that public talk rarely matches the pace of legal reality. Within Elçin's circle, the line was consistent: the process continues, and every right afforded by law is being used to make sure the truth is heard. Still, the actor herself remained away from microphones, with only a few careful words filtering out, that she was strong, that she believed in fairness, that she trusted time to restore balance. As the conversation surged, a separate thread emerged: the quiet, resolute stance of Barış. Stories appeared that he was preparing to visit her soon, not for a photo opportunity, but for the kind of private conversation old friends save for the hardest days. Industry veterans said his posture was not a stunt, but an instinctive expression of solidarity that echoed well beyond a single friendship. In a field known for feuds and fleeting alliances, the image of him stepping forward, without fanfare, without a press statement, became a symbol in itself. Solidarity matters. Loyalty matters. And when people remember why they fell in love with two actors in the first place, it's rarely about awards, it's about character. What made this moment sting for fans was how deeply they associate Elçin with grace under pressure. She's the performer who walks into a room and makes it feel warmer, the person who can turn a single glance into a story. To reconcile that image with a grim legal rumor proved disorienting. And yet, according to whispers from people who care about her, she is facing the moment with a steady spine. She is listening, thinking, preparing, waiting for the moment to speak on her own terms. The public may be impatient, but those who know her best say composure is not passivity. It is a way of gathering strength before acting with care. The outpouring of support from colleagues came swiftly. Directors wrote that justice would be clarified in due time. Fellow actors sent messages that focused less on gossip and more on compassion. Let the process run its course. She deserves fairness, just as anyone would. When names with millions of followers expressed backing, the tone of the online debate shifted a shade softer. It was no longer a spectacle. It felt like a community taking a collective breath. Still, none of this would have captured so many hearts if not for the history between Elçin and Barış. People remember the spark of Karalik Ask, the way they seemed to listen to each other even when the script had no dialogue. They remember how, off-camera, each would greet the other with respect that felt unforced, how they never tried to convince anyone of anything. The fanbase grew up with them. Some watched that series during their first year at university. Now they are professionals with mortgages and toddlers, and still that pairing remains a reference point for believing in unguarded connection. So when Barış's words surfaced, a promise to stand by her, the reaction was not just gossip. It was collective memory reawakened. Insiders say they have been in touch by phone throughout this swirl. A few friends whispered that his voice has been a steadying presence, that he has a way of reminding her of the horizon beyond a storm. She, in turn, has reportedly been calm, carefully gathering facts and advice rather than rushing to post a statement that would be dissected in seconds. If nothing else, that patience may define how this chapter is ultimately remembered. There is a difference between reacting for headlines and responding for truth. Of course, not everything on the timeline was measured. Some posts pushed dramatic narratives that could not be verified, and those closest to the situation urged caution. Remember that a rumor repeated 1,000 times is still a rumor. What anchored the discourse was the consistent thread from her side: the legal path is being followed, and confidence remains that fairness will prevail. From the outside, that may sound like a press release. But from those who have worked with her, it sounds like the woman they know. The fascination with this story is, in a way, a mirror held up to the industry itself. Stars rise, mistakes happen, misunderstandings spin into storms, and through it all the question remains: who stands next to you when the lights are least forgiving? For Elçin, the answer appeared in the form of a quiet vow from someone who has seen her at her most triumphant and, now, at her most tested. He isn't just a co-star in people's memories. He's a friend. He's like family. And in his presence, many found a reason to believe that the noise would one day recede, leaving behind a steadier truth. Meanwhile, producers and casting directors read the room. They know the market moves on emotion as much as analytics, and few emotions are as potent as reunion. Whispers point to scripts that had been hovering in limbo suddenly being dusted off. What if the resilience on display today became the heartbeat of a new story tomorrow? What if the partnership that taught audiences to believe in sparks also taught them how to weather the dark? None of this is confirmed. But even the idea gives fans something to hold. One detail that kept surfacing was the difference between performance and person. Fans celebrate a character, colleagues defend a human being. In the end, that is what made the outpouring of support so moving, the way people insisted on seeing the person behind the headlines. In every message from a co-star, in every careful word from a director, there was a plea to slow down, to let the dust settle, to grant the space that anyone would want if they found themselves under a microscope. That tone didn't erase the questions, but it kept the conversation humane. By late evening, the chatter had become an ocean: thousands of posts, clips from old interviews, fan-made edits of the two of them, threads linking moments from years ago to this one. Alongside it, a quieter rhythm: calls made, visits arranged, documents prepared, strategies mapped with precision. The surface shimmered with noise, while below it a steadier current moved with purpose. If and when Elçin speaks, the world will lean in. People want to hear her voice in all this, not through leaks or fragments, but directly and clearly. The expectation is that she will choose timing with care, as she always has, and that when she does, she will address the swirl without letting it define her. Her team, we're told, continues to chart the appeal, moving step by step through a process that rarely offers easy shortcuts. Whether the ruling changes, whether time softens it, whether the truth cuts through, remains to be seen. What is clear is the resilience surrounding her. As for Barış, his approach has been as unshowy as ever. No press conference, no staged photos, just the simple act of being present. People close to him say he has repeated variations of the same promise in private. She's not just my co-star. She's my friend. She's like family. I will not let her be treated unfairly. Those words, as they made their way online, hit a chord that numbers can't measure. It isn't about likes. It's about the comfort of knowing that in a world hungry for spectacle, someone chose substance. So the waiting continues. Will the sentence be postponed or softened? Will the appeal turn the page? Will the long arc of this story bend toward vindication? Social media will keep asking hourly, but the answers will come on their own schedule. In the meantime, what endures is a picture of an industry capable of empathy and of a friendship that refuses to tremble at the first shake of the ground. It is a reminder that the stories we tell about stars are, at their best, stories about how to be human when the lights get too bright. We'll be here to follow every careful step, every official update, every small sign that the clouds are thinning. And when the moment comes for her to speak, or for a new project to be announced, or for a quiet photograph to say more than a paragraph ever could, we'll bring it to you. Until then, remember that behind every headline there is a person, behind every rumor there is a due process, and behind this particular moment there is a bond that has already outlasted 100 hashtags. If you enjoyed spending time with us today, don't forget to subscribe to Turkish Series Stars and share this video so others can join the conversation. We'll keep watching with care, and we'll be right here when the next chapter begins.